Bar, black sheep, have you on your wall? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. One for the master, one for the dame, one for the black sheep, yes, sir, 3 bags full. Hello. Hello. Can't see you at all. Are you there? Deborah? Oh. Hi.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Baruch Hashem, how about you?
Well, I'm still having quite a bit of difficulty with my computer, so I'm
Mm.
hoping that I'm on my new computer now. I'm hoping that we'll manage to get through the class without it crashing.
Oh,
I've got my laptop set up just in case. They think I've spoken to the engineer. He thinks it's a problem with old equipment for the microphone, that the driver isn't is I don't know, there's some conflict or something with the
uh,
software.
incompatibility or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. So they think it's that, but I'm not willing to give up yet on my. I mean, I've got a new microphone. I don't want to buy a new.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't want
yeah.
to. Yeah, I don't want to buy a new external sound card. It'll cost a lot of money. I don't want to have to do that. So we'll see what the wizard goes can do. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. Anyhow,
All
at the
this
moment.
stuff is so complicated, involved. Yeah.
I guess there's just so many different
Right.
types of things on the market. How can they
Uh-huh.
possibly make it match everything?
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Anyhow, so
yeah.
that's the situation with that. Adam, just to tell you, Adam had a new baby girl.
Oh, Mazel Tov. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. He sent me a fit picture. Let me see if I can find the picture for you. 1 second. Adam, you'll be on WhatsApp. Here we are. Um, there's the picture. Now I can do share. Uh, share. There you go. Can you see it?
Ah, yeah. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, it's so adorable. That's amazing. So he's got three little girls. Or something.
He's got three little girls, Hadass, Emuna, and the new one is Eliora.
Oh, so
Eliora,
nice. Yeah.
beautiful,
Look at
much
Sam.
beautiful.
What's the world needs is more little girls.
Yeah, beautiful little
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, it's nice. Like
Beautiful.
little. It's so cute all bundled up like that. It's just so, yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Babies are amazing. Yeah.
There you go. So I thought you'd
Thank
like
you. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah.
it.
Well, he said he was going to be a few minutes late or a minute or two late, so it
Yeah,
probably has to do with that.
I can understand why he would be late.
Yeah.
And I put it on the live stream for him. So hopefully, now I'm still not clear about where the tefillah is turning up on this machine. I guess
Is it the same brand of computers you had before?
it's different. It's like it's
Uh-huh.
11 instead of Windows 10.
Uh-huh.
Can't find anything. It's uh, all the material is not yet transferred over, so it takes quite a long time.
Get
Um,
used to it.
yeah, I mean, I used the last computer I had it for quite a long time, so it had a lot of material on it,
Right.
and just to transfer all of it over would just, you know, end up, using up all the space on this computer as well. So I'm trying to be a little bit selective of what I bring over, but it takes time. Anyhow, we've got the tefillah here, so I'll just share it. How do I do that now? Maybe I am sharing. I don't know what I'm doing.
No, I'm still seeing the picture. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay. All right. ריבון עולמים ואדוני אדונים, אב הרחמן והסליחות, מודים אנחנו לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו, וקידה בשתחוויה שקרבתנו לתורתך ולעבודתך עבודת הקודש, ונתת לנו חלק בסודות תורתך הקדושה. מה אנו ומחיינו, אשר עשית עמנו חסד גדול כזה, על כן אנחנו מפילים תחנוננו לפניך, שתמחול ותסלח לכל חטאותינו ועוונותינו, ואל יהיו עוונותינו מבדילים בינינו לבינך, וכן יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו, שתכונן את לבבינו ליראתך ולבבך, ותקשיב אוזניך לדברינו אלה. ותפתח לבבינו הערל בסודות תורתך, ויהיה לימודנו זה נחת רוח לפני כיסא כבודך קרח ניחוח. ותאציל עלינו, אור מקור נשמתנו בכל בחינתנו, כשהתנוצצו ניצוצות עבודך הקדושים, אשר על ידם גלית דבריך אלה בעולם, וזכותם וזכות אבותם, וזכות תורתם ותמימותם וקדושתם, יעמוד לנו לבל נכשל בדברים אלו. ובזכותם תראיננו במה שאנו לומדים, כמאמר נעים זמירות ישראל, גל עיני והביטה נפלאות מתורתך. אדוני תן חוכמה מפיו דעת ותבונה, יהיו לראות צונים מפי, והגעו ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Amen. Can you hear that sound? Okay, Adam, welcome.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry, I'm late. Just
Yeah, you've got
scrambling to be ready.
Mazel tov on your new daughter.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
yeah. I shared the photo that you sent.
All right.
Absolutely beautiful. Baruch Hashem.
Oh, so now
Are they all
everybody's-
okay? Everybody good
Oh
there?
yeah, everybody's good.
That's
That's good.
fantastic. Baruch
Yeah,
Hashem.
we're
That's
we're all
marvelous.
spending a lot of time at home right now. That's good.
That's really grand.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem. All right, that's fantastic. So we're going to learn for the new baby, Eliora, Nahama, Bat, Caroline, for Adam. Okay, she titzmach, she tov, yeah, before Shalema also to Caroline. And beautiful, Baruch Hashem, wonderful, new baby in the Chavruta.
Amen.
Yeah, beautiful. That should grow her with nachat, to gadluta b'nachat. Now then, we are just, okay, I need to do, oh, there it's gone, stop share. The Peticah, right. Now do new share. So I spent quite a lot of time on Shabbat again, looking at this piece. And I have to say that the more I read it, the more, Baruch Hashem, I'm beginning to get a handle on it. Okay, so it's definitely worth going over a few times. I'm beginning to get a handle on Tikkun Kavim. I'm beginning to get a handle on what this is talking about. So I think the best thing to do is to just simply read the Reshit Chochmah again. All right, if that's okay with everybody. All right, and the more we go over it, the more we'll begin to get a feeling of what this is about. Definitely, I felt I made a lot of strides with it on Shabbat, so I want to share that with you guys. So if we start again with the Reshit Chochmah, Maybe just start. Probably we should start with the balance. Okay. Get this out of the way. ולפיכך, גם במ"ה החדש יצא מהמצח, נוהגות גם כן שתי בחינות קטנות וגדלות, כמו בעולם הניקודים. אשר תחילה יוצאת הקטנות, דהיינו לפי העוביות המגולה במסך, שהיא קומת זרע אנפין התלבשות המכונה הגת, וקומת מלכות עוביות הנקראת נהי, מטעם 3 קווים שנעשו בקומת מלכות. שקו ימין נקרא נצח, וקו שמאל נקרא הוד, וקו אמצעי יסוד. So therefore, also in the world of Atzilut, okay, which is, remember, is called Memhe Chadash, okay, why? Because it takes the level of Memhe, which is the world of Nikodim, okay, and it corrects it, okay, so the Memhe Chadash is actually Bechinat Shoresh, which is what he says, Shiatzamer Metzach, so it means it's the root, it's the smallest of all the oviots, and the smallest of all the oviots means that it's not able to use any will to receive at all. It can't use any of its will to receive for the sake of giving. At this point, the malchut, which is the vessel, is only able to use giving for the sake of giving. That's what it means, oviut of shoresh. The metzach is like the equivalent of keter, and keter is the desire to give. So that all he can do, all at this point is able to do, its desire is simply that when there is an action of giving, to be able to intend that for the sake of giving. But he's not able to intend an action of receiving for the sake of giving. Okay, that's what it means, bechinat metzach, bechinat keter, or bechinat shoresh. Now, Hagot gam ken shtei bechinot katnut v'gadlut. So again, we just like in the world of Nikodim, we're going to have at least 2 sets of Rishimot, okay? In fact, we think we're going to have 3 here, but at least we're going to have 2. One is Katnut. Katnut refers to the regular series of oviot in the masach, the regular wills to receive, the regular oviot, like Galgalt is Bechina Daled, Ayin Bet is Bechina Gimel, Sag is Bechina Bet, the world of Nikodim is Bechina Aleph, so the world of Atzilut is Bechina Shoresh, okay? So in the world of Katnut, this is the aspects of the oviot, which is revealed above the palsa, okay, above the masach, above the tabor is probably what I should say, all right? Okay, so above the tabor, in the regular oviuts, okay, in the regular organization, okay, so we're going to have that would be katnut. And gadlut refers to the big rishimot of Adam Kadmon, which actually were very involved with the breaking of the vessels, but the vessels broke and they still haven't got their tikkun, so they're going to turn up again as well. So we've got these 2 levels of Rishimot, Bechinat Katnut and Gadlut, Kamo ba'olam Nikudim, just as we had in the world of Nikudim. Asher Techila Yotzet Katnut, so first of all comes forth Katnut. The Hainu Lefia Ovitum Guleba Masach, according to the desire which is manifest in the Masach, Shikomat Zeram Pintit Lapshut, V'komat Malchut Oviut. Okay, so the Bechina Aleph of Hitlapshut, which is what's left over from the light which was shining in the Nikodim. Okay, it's the Bechina of the Hitlapshut, and that is called here Chagat. The Komat Malchut of Oviut is called Nahi. And the Komat of Malchut of Oviut is called Nahi. Now, what he speaks about in the explanations that we've learned so far is that Nahi really means one light, it means Nefesh, okay? but it's called Nahi because of the inyan of Tikkun Kavin. Now, the Tikkun Kavin is something that I didn't understand very well, but I got a much more of a handle on it now, so I can explain it to you. When you have Tzimtzum Bet, okay, now you've got the three possibilities basically available. Remember that the Malchut there's 10 Sfirot in every situation, and it's more like, kind of like on a switchboard, some light up and some stay dark. If you can imagine kind of like a switchboard where you've got some lighting up and some staying dark, that would be more of the situation. All right, so you've got 10 Sfirot, all right, in every situation. Okay, and the Malchut decides which of those 10 Sfirot are going to light up and which are not. All right. Now, what we learnt was that in the world, in the Nukudot of Sag, when the Nukudot mixed with the Rishimot below the Tabor, it caused some of the vessels to be under the domination of the Malchut, in the sense that if they were to receive light there, it would be for themselves alone. Okay, so the Malchut, which was the end of the Madriga, actually rose up and mixed with Bina. Okay, the Malchut went up to Bina, and in the Guf it was that the Malchut went up to Bina de Gufa, which was the middle of Tiferet, 2/3 of Tiferet. So everything from there on, 2/3 of Tiferet, nets 2/3 of Tiferet, and the Malchut, everything below there is under the dominance of the will to receive. Now, when you have Gadlut, and what actually happened in Gadlut, in the world of Nikodim, was that the Masach, which had been stuck right in the middle of the Madriga, came back down to its original place, and now you have vessels from the original Madriga, which could use all 10 Sfirot, okay, for the sake of giving, or you have 10 Sfirot which are dominated by the will to receive for yourself alone, okay, and one would be the right-hand line and one would be the left-hand line. And you've got to find a balance. And in the end, the balance was to receive only for the sake of giving. And that was the compromise. That was the middle line, to actually only use the vessels of giving. That's how I understood it at the moment. Okay. What I don't understand and is does Tikkun Kavin happen in Katnut? Because I don't see how Tikkun Kavim, how the left-hand line can be on the one hand below in another Madriga, below in the Guf, and at the same time be in the Rosh. I don't think that can be the case. So I don't really understand how Tikkun Kavim is working in Ibor of Atzilut. But I do see how you can get Tikkun Kavim in the world of Nikodim, in the Rosh of Nikodim. So you could say, well, okay, if that happens in the Rosh, why didn't it happen in the Guf as well of Nikodim? And I think the answer to that is because there wasn't really the Rosh did not really emanate to the Guf of Nikodim, because the Bechina was so small as Bechina Aleph, and it doesn't it doesn't emanate to the body at all. And what actually created the body in the world of Nikodim was really the big Rishimot of Daled Gimel. That's what really created the body. So you can't really say, I mean, yeah, okay, it came together with Bechina Aleph, but Bechina Aleph on its own won't emanate to the world of Nikodim. And that's why the Bechina Bet of Hitler Pshut didn't go with them. That's why the vessels broke. Okay? And they didn't have Tikkun Kavim in the guf of the world of Nikodim. Now, what he's saying here, he's saying something very interesting. He's saying in the Koma of Katnut, in the Rosh of Atzilut, okay, which is the way that the Atzilut is forming. It's not forming in the Rosh of Nikodim, okay, it's forming in the one above it, in the Rosh of Sag, okay, because the Rosh of Nikodim has been nullified in the sense that it's now only half a madriga again. It can't bring forth anything. So it's got to go to the one above it, which is the Rosh of Sag. And it's saying that in Katnut, it's bringing forth Tikkun Kavim. And I'm like, I don't get this. I understand that it is doing that. It's saying so very specifically, clearly here, but I don't understand what Tikkun Kavim means in Katnut. All right? I can understand what it could mean in Gadlut. I don't understand what it means here in Katnut. I can understand that it comes about because for sure the Shemot that there was Tikkun Kavim went up with the Masach. If it's going to the Rosh of Sag, then also you've got all the Rishimot from the world of Nikodim, all right, are also up there as well with it. So there's plenty opportunities to choose from things. So it's choosing also the Tikkun Kavim in the Katnut of Atzilut. And I don't understand how that functions. All right, so this is a question, but I'm seeing that it does. And that's why it's called Nahi. All right, Nefesh, sorry, Netzach Yesod. Okay, Netzach is the right-hand line, Hod is the left-hand line, Yesod is the middle line. Netzach is the Zera Ampin in the Zayin Tachtonot. Hod is the Malchut of the Zayin Tachtonot, and Yesod is the Yesod, is the middle line. Okay, but nevertheless, it's really just one light. It's the light of Nefesh with three different states. The right-hand line, which is called the essence of the Madriga, the left-hand line, which is where everything is completely dark because it's all the vessels of receiving under the dominance of the Malchut, and the Hay, and the middle line, the Yesod in the middle line is the compromise. Okay, where the compromise works out, where you put basically a matzach over the vessels of receiving, they turn around and want to be giving. That way, you can bring them in affinity of form in the right-hand line, and hey presto, they're all in harmony, and you get a middle line. There's a lot about that, how that works in the Zohar. Okay, so that we can certainly learn there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can ask any question.
I don't know if I understand your question. Isn't the left-hand line, isn't that the Malchut?
Okay, that's a good question. It is, but not always. It depends what the context of using the term the Malchut.
But in this specific context, when you're saying, so we have the Nachi, which is an Ibur, which is in the cut.
Yeah.
So the Malchut is went up to being
yeah.
So the Malchut is present.
It's made all the left. It's the Malchut and Masayemet. It's the Malchut. Right. From that. Everything below that would be the Halal Panoi, would be receiving itself alone. So it's
so
made.
Isn't she just the left-hand line then at that point?
Wouldn't she what, sorry?
Isn't that just the left-hand line at that point? That's like how the tikkun kavim is actually being
Yes, yeah,
expressed in that upper
it is.
continent.
Yeah, that's absolutely right what you're saying. But
Uh-huh.
still, you've got to make an action that's actually going to bring it into Kedusha. Because otherwise, how can you use it for the middle line? And what that action is the Masach Techirik. The Masach
Oh,
Techirik is the Masach which comes from the vessels. Remember when the vessels go below into the body, they join with the Rosh of the next lot going down, okay, and they form they do what's called Mein Nukvin. They actually, for example, Da'at, okay, bring a Masach, okay, on which they prevent the vessels of receiving actually receiving. They it, they do or choser on that masach, okay, and actually therefore use that malchut instead of wanting to receive for itself alone, but as the basis for or choser. The moment it's doing or choser, you're in affinity of form. You can join with the right hand line. Presto, you've got the middle line.
okay.
Okay,
Um,
that's the whole issue of the
mhm.
Masach Techirik. So
And
here he doesn't really mention it. He's just telling you that it's happening, but there's no explanation of it at all here.
the Yesod is in this context kind of the meaning point or the point of tension between um, the Hey Chassidut and the Hey Geburot, right?
Yes.
The 5 and 5. Um, but yeah, but it's not explaining how they're incorporated into the middle line. That's the issue.
Yeah, I don't it's I
Mhm.
mean we haven't he's just sort of it's this
He's
is the most
just making a statement. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, this is the most zipped up paragraph,
Mhm.
practically. There was one other like this, in the beginning of the Peticah, paragraph 14, for which we went and learned two whole chapters in the Talmud Sesrirot in order to understand it. And I think we're going to have to do something similar here. But anyhow, um,
Yeah,
the most zipped
I
up
want to have a
chapter, this one.
clear understanding of your question so that
Yeah, so my
yeah.
question is, I can understand to some extent where Tikkun Kavin comes in the Rosh of Nikodim, especially when you're talking about Gadlut. Why is Tikkun Kavim coming in Ibor when it's in Katnut? It's like, how's that happening? How does that work? Okay, I don't know. That's my question. I have no idea how this is working, but I'm accepting for now. He's saying that that is so. Okay, so therefore I'm going to ask a question. How does that come to be? And this is again, like we said, we're going to be learning this. We're going to be asking a lot of questions. All right. And it's very important to ask the questions at this point because the more questions we ask, the more the information will eventually make sense to us. All right. So being able to ask a question is terrific. All right.
And
So what
I
he's saying
had
is,
I'm sorry, I had one more question just about
yeah,
that.
good.
Is you mentioned that Malchut was making a decision.
Yeah.
I was trying to understand by what faculty? Like the decision as to like a masach or not, that it's in kedusha or not in kedusha. What's the decision that it's making there?
That decision. I mean, the Malchut
Mhm.
is always making those decisions, isn't it? The Mal
Right, right. I was just right. I guess my confusion was it's making a decision to like in your switchboard um, description, it's making a decision as to which spheroids illuminate. So that's it's making a decision as to like what oracles there it's using or what I'm just kind of trying to understand what that meant.
Absolutely. you're absolutely right. It's always like, for example, okay, we've got the situation, we've got these three which are under the influence of the will to receive for itself alone. Am I going to use those? Well, in the world of Nicodemus, it did decide how to use those. Okay, and they received for themselves alone. Okay, that was not obviously a good decision. Okay, so now we're going to make a new decision. Here we are in the world of Atzilut. How am I going to handle these different Rishimot which are present? Okay, which ones am I going to cause to light up? Which ones am I going to say, no, I can't use? Okay, and I think this is basically what the Malchut has to decide. Okay, now my basic values that I've got right now, the Malchut is saying to itself, is I'm capable of giving for the sake of giving. I'm not capable of receiving for the sake of giving. Interesting. So how do I handle the Sfirot based on that fact or based on that fact? It's like it's asking itself these questions. Do you see what I'm saying? Given this arrangement where I've got Tikkun Kavin in it, I've only got the aspects of the of Bechinat Shoresh, of the will to give. What does this actually mean? So it's like asking itself these questions. I think it's a good way to look at it. What questions is the
Okay.
Malchut asking itself at this moment?
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's like a human being. Okay, we're faced with a choice. I can either eat this ice cream without saying a bracha, okay, or I could eat this ice cream with saying a bracha. The temptation to say it without saying a bracha is because it's a hot day and it's strawberry ice cream, my favorite. Okay, okay. Or the temptation is to stop, wait, or do I make this decision and believe that through my bracha I'm in affinity of form with the Creator? Or I'm giving something to the Creator. What's the decision? So we're always making these decisions, okay, whether to be in affinity of form, to do an action of giving, or to do an action of receiving for ourselves alone. It's always, these are the questions that in a way, it's very similar questions that the Malchut of Atzilut has to ask itself at this point. I mean, that's why I'm seeing it with this idea of, the Tikkun Kavin and things.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So I think it's kind of interesting. We'll see what will happen with this. Right. So where were we? So he's going to do aspect of Katnut first, according to the Oviut, which is revealed in the Masach, which is the Komat of Bechina Aleph of Hitlapshut and Malchut, Oviut, and Oviut of Shoresh, okay, of Nefesh. So the light of Zerampin is called Ruach, and the light of Malchut is called Nefesh. Now, as we know, um, if we go from here, אמנם כיוון שאין מבחינה א' רק בחינת התלבשות בלי עוביות, על כן אין בה כלים. Now it says, since the Bechina Aleph is only the aspect of Hitlapshut, the aspect of remains of the light, B'li without any ability to, without any desire to receive or work that's able to do any work, okay, Alkain Ein Bakalim, it's got no vessels of work of its own. Well, that's the same as it's with every Hitlapshut, okay, nothing new here. Okay, Nimtza Komat Hagat B'li Kalim. So the Komat of the Zachar is without vessels of its own. V'mitlabeshet b'kalim denahi. What is this? Let me just ask her what she wants, because it looks like it's a bit. She's rang me 3 times so far. And right, I sent her a WhatsApp. Okay. All right. So there's no real difference here that the vessels of Hitlapshut um, don't have vessels which they're able to use for work because they never do. So they always have to connect with the vessels. The Zachar always has to use the vessels of the Nekeva in order to actually do any zivug at all. Okay, so here we find it's a komat hagat b'li kelim, b'mitlabeshet b'kelim denahi. That's normal. Okay, so the vessels of Hitlapshut are joining with the vessels of Oviut in order to do any zivug at all. That's normal. Komosa nikret ubar, okay, or ibur. Okay, this level is called the fetus. Okay, she'ein sham elishur oviut deshoresh. It says there's no actual will to receive present at all. It's only the will to give. Okay. So in that sense, it's like the Rosh, isn't it? It's like the Masach of the Rosh, okay, which is only giving back the light. All right, it's not actually receiving anything. And so Ibor is actually in the Rosh. And we can see that it is. This is the level of Ovid which is left in the Masach after the Izdakukut. When it went up to the Zivug in the Metzach of the Elyon, in the Keter of a higher one, and the level which comes forth is only Komat Malchut, the light of Nefesh. Omnam, he says, however, within its right within inside it, not making its presence felt at the moment, yesh bechinat heitata'a begenizo. There is the action, there is the aspect of the malchut. Here means bechina dalad gimel. Okay, the aspect of tzimtzum aleph, dalad gimel. Those big rishimot from Galgalta are there begenizo, hidden away. This is the aspect of Heitata'ah, hidden away inside the Bechina of Shorish. Okay. Once the Uba receives a zivug from the higher one, which would be the Rosh of Sag, Yored Misham Lim Komo. It goes to its own place. Ras Makabel Mochin Diyinika Me'elyon. And it receives the light of Yinika, nursing, like the nursing light. Okay, what does that mean? It means that it's beginning to it's born, okay? It's got its own vessels, all right? But it's not able to receive yet the light. It's able, again, it's not able to receive light on its own. It still needs to receive the light from the Rosh, okay? But it's already born, like a baby. It's born, but it still needs to receive all its sustenance from the mother. Shem oviut to bechina aleph. Now here it's using an oviut, an actual oviut, not a hitlapshut, but an oviut of bechina aleph. Where does it get it from? It gets it from the world of Nikodim, because remember, one of the functions of the world of Atzilut is to correct the vessels of the Nikodim, and they were bechina aleph. So it's using the oviut of bechina aleph. So here it's interesting that it's not just correcting the vessels of the Nikodim, it's also gaining from the vessels of Nikodim. Bivchina heitata benikveinaim, okay, which would mean the Malchut is now, just as it was in the world of Nikodim, just below Chochmah. Now it gets true vessels for Bechina Aleph. So now the Hagat can now emanate from within the vessels of Nefesh and now have its own level, V'yeshlo komat zerampin. and it now has also the level of Zerampin. Okay,
Okay.
right. Baruch
Um,
Hashem.
okay.
Well, okay. Now, listen, I want to just say to celebrate, Kuf Kaf Aleph is no longer completely Chinese. It's a lot better than it was at the beginning. Hodul
Yeah.
Hashem. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's already amazing. Baruch Hashem. Right, now you can ask a question.
Okay. So it's describing the Hetata'ah, the Metzah, and
Right.
saying it's Beganiza. So it's not. I'm the Hetata'ah. So that's the Malchut going up to Bina, right? The Hetata'ah is the Malchut. She's up. She's up in Keter before it goes down to to
Okay.
by
Yeah. I
to by
get I
Chochmah.
I get your question. I get your question. What you're dealing with is more than one lot of Malchut. Okay, remember that every single regime stage
Right.
has its own Malchut.
Mhm.
Okay, so you've got the Malchut of which belongs to Keter. All right, let me see if I can get you a picture. A picture is always helpful at this point. Picture. I've got my new computer. Not everything is moved over. And hopefully, well, there's a miracle so far that the machine hasn't crashed. It's still problematic. Peticah, here we are. Pictures. Which picture are we going to look at? Dun, 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 dun. This one. Oh, there we go. Stop share. New share. Okay. That we've got to deal with is the fact that, as you become aware, Rabbi Ashlag Ali Holy Ari uses the same terms for very different situations. Okay, so there's something like 22 different meanings to the word Malkut, or 12 different meanings to Ozer. Okay, he's got a whole list of them somewhere. All right, and it definitely is confusing. All right, so we have to be sort of like really flexible and really see what he's talking about when he's talking about the Malchut or Heitata or whatever. So we're talking about the first situation we're talking about is Bechinat Shoresh, okay? So when we talk about Bechinat Shoresh, what do we mean? We mean that the level of Oviut that the Malchut is using is minimal. Okay, if we were going to start from the beginning, this would be Galgalta. This would be Galgalta, the one right here on the right-hand side. Okay, it uses Bechina Dalad. It brings forth maximum amount of vessels. Okay, and therefore of Or Choser, and therefore it has maximum amount of lights. Okay. Then the next stage, which is Ayin Bet, which brings forth Komat Chochma, it has one less vessel, which is the Malchut. Malchut is, the equivalent would be empty, okay? And the Masach has moved up to Bechina Gimel. Bechina Gimel brings you Zerampin, is the level of Zerampin, okay? So you've now got 1, 2, 3, 4 vessels, and therefore only 4 lights. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya. With Sag, you've got the Malchut has moved up to Bina, okay? Which means that you've only got 3 vessels, all right? Therefore, you've only got 3 lights. So Or Jose would begin from here, all right? The Malchut of, or the Malchut, where the Malchut is at the level of Bina. So that's called Bechina Bet. All right. So you could say that here the Malchut is at the level of Zerampin, the Malchut is at the level of Bina. When you get to Zerampin, the Malchut is at the level of Chochma. Okay, it's also called Bechina Aleph. And here he says the Malchut is at the level of Keter, or Bechina Shoresh. Except that here he calls Keter Metzach, which is the same thing. Okay? So for Ban, which is here, it's actually Ma HaChadash, okay? The new Ma, which is the original Ban, okay? The Malchut is at the level of Keter, Bechinat Shoresh. The only light it can bring about is Nefesh, okay? And that's the level of Nahi that he's talking about, the level of Malchut, all right? Why does he call it Malchut? Because the light of Nefesh is the light of Malchut is Nefesh. All right. Bechina Aleph, when the Malchut acquires the oviut of the world of Nikudim, okay, when it comes to Yinika, so now it goes down to Bechina Aleph, okay, you can see Nikvei Naim, so Keter and Chochma, and you can say the Gimel Shonot of Bina, they're hidden in there somewhere too. But basically that's what Bechina Aleph is, and you've got two lights, Nefesh, Ruach, and that would be Bechina Aleph. And the Hey Tata'ah, which is in Genizo, okay, would be Bechinat Gimel of Oviut with Dalad of Hitlabshut. Okay, that would be the Malchut, which is in Genizo. So actually, you're actually talking about three different levels of Malchut. Okay, for every different stage, all right, that he talks about, you have a different Malchut.
So, but then is right. So that is the Malkut. The Genizo is the Malkut from Golgotha.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
from
what's
that's
left?
from.
It's what's left of it, because
It's
remember,
what's left over. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Galgalta did his dakhut, okay? So there was a bitush of the Or Mekif against the Or Trimi. So what's left of Galgalta is Bechina Dalad of Hitlabshut and Gimel of Oviut. It's more like Ayin Bet, okay? But that, yeah, those were the Rishimot which were left below the level of below the level of the Tabor of Galgalta, which want their filling. So yeah, Hey Tata Abagenizo is that one. That one.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. So, but then we're really talking about picking a short at that point,
Sorry?
and we're talking about being a shorish and the nefesh nahi level, the ibor. So it's
Yeah.
like that. It's interesting. Like the potential for the highest light is hidden in this lowest level of you. Is that what
Well,
it's saying?
yes, that's right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly right. So you've got the Bechinat Shoresh, which is the smallest oviut, but it's the aspect of which is only giving. All right. Now, if you've got an aspect which is only giving and all its focus is on how I give, you can put a will to receive in there. It's never going to take any notice of it. It's not interested in it. Like if you've got somebody who's totally altruistic, okay? His only purpose is how can he serve? All right. And then you say to him, well, I'll give you, 10,000 shekels salary or something. He's not interested. He's not interested. It doesn't touch him. Why? Because he's not interested. If he had the will to receive, even like you said, the will to receive for the sake of being able to give to others, uh, like we talked about the guy who was head of a yeshiva, all right, sorry, the administrative head of the yeshiva. And somebody comes and he's got a factory. He says, look, I can really use you in my factory. I'll give you a wonderful salary. He says, the honest truth is I don't take anything. I consider it a mitzvah. I don't have a salary. So he can't tempt him. But if he has some aspect of the will to receive at all, then the way he gets to him, he says, well, everything I do, I get a salary, but I give it all to charity. He says, okay, I'll give you more salary and give more to charity. Okay, that way he can get him. But if his only intention is the will to give, how can he be involved with the will to receive? It makes sense to me that you could have Heitata Abegenizo, that it's not going to affect it particularly at that point anyhow. Because it's hidden. It's like, I'm not interested.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of how that's in Atzilut. That's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, one of the things that Rabbi Gottlieb said, I think in the beginning of Shah Halamelech, I had a read of it, was that one of the most important factors of the world of Atzilut is that it's based on Bechinat Shoresh. And if it's based on Bechinat Shoresh, its real purpose, its real aspect is the will to give. And it doesn't have a will to receive. Now that's interesting. So yeah, so he says that Bechina Daled is hidden in that will to receive, is hidden in that it's hidden in the will to give there. Okay. So that's actually a very useful diagram, this one, I must say. Number 12, I'll remember that one. Okay. Now then, I don't want to go, we've got 5 minutes left. If I start the Reishit Chochmah, we'll get stuck in the middle of something. Let's just do these little Or Baruchs down the side, yeah?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about those.
Yeah, so let's do them now.
Yeah.
All right. That's what we were talking about. That's the first one. Nun Gimel. There are two explanations that the Heitata is in Genizo. Aleph. Shemalchut of Tzimtzum Aleph, he begenizo. That the Malchut of Tzimtzum Aleph is hidden. Hainu shezivug nasel Malchut of Tzimtzum Bet. That the zivug is taking place on the Malchut of Tzimtzum Bet. Okay? Bet. Shehei Tata'ah, that the Malchut that we looked at, she ovyut shel Dalad Gimel, which is the ovyut of Dalad Gimel, he begenizo, is hidden. She'en achshav zivug al ovyut shel Hei Tata'ah, because there is not right now a zivug on the ovyut of that Malchut. Ela begadlut nasa zivug aleha, but in Gadlut we will do a zivug on it. And that he gives you the Harol Biorim 575. I was reading those as well, found them quite helpful. If I can only find them. Here we go. הפירוש הראשון. הפירוש הראשון מדבר באופן כללי, על כך שאין משתמשים במלכות לצמצום א', דהיינו בכלים דקבלה. The first explanation speaks that in a general sense, we're not using the Malchut of Tzimtzum Aleph. That is, we're not using vessels of receiving. Ela Malchut of Tzimtzum Bet. The Malchut of Tzimtzum Bet, the Hainu B'Kelim Dashbar Bilvad. We're only able now to use vessels of giving. Klomar, ein משתמשים ב10 ספירות של אב שורש, אלא בכלים דהשפעה דאלף שורש. We're not even using the 10 sfirot of Aleph Shoresh, but only the vessels of giving which belong to the oviut of Aleph Shoresh. Haperush Sheni Metzabel Sug HaOviut. The second explanation speaks about the type of oviut. דהיינו שאין משתמשים כעת עם אוביות ד' ג' שהמכונה התתאה. We're not using now the obvious of Daled Gimel, which is what is called here Heitata'a, Ella im Aleph Shorish Bilvad. But we're only in Katnut using Aleph Shorish alone. Okay? So far, so good?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that seems okay. So far, so good. All right. It's getting a little bit better. Oops, there you go. Nun Daled. Nun Daled referred to after the Ibor receives the zivug of the higher one, it goes down from the Rosh to its place. Vaz makabel mochin de Yenika. It receives the light of Yenika from the higher one, which is obvious of Bechina Aleph. Bechina Heitata benikvei 9. That would be the Malchut at the level of Bechina Aleph, which was what we saw on that picture just now. Okay, like in the world of Nikodim. Nun Daled. יש לשאול השאלה, איך מגיע לו אוביות בחינה א'? Where does he get the אוביות of בחינה א' from? הלא אין לו אלא אוביות השורש. He's only got an אוביות of שורש, המגיע לו מבחינת עצם המדרגה, which is what he gets from its own level of the spiritual stage. מצד העירוב דבחינה ד', מגיע לעתיק בחינה ד'. Okay, we can say from the mixing of Bechina Daled, we can get to Bechina Daled. Atik can get Bechina Daled, and Arichampin can get Bechina Gimel, and Zerampin can get Bechina Aleph. Im Kain Zerampin Makabel Neshama Chaim Yechida. Where does this Bechina Aleph come in? Vagam she'enu mesig neshama ela be'et sholel yisro sabu tvuna, v'chaya be'et sholel Abba v'ima v'chuleh. אבל יותר מבחינה א' שהוא רוח אין לו, וצריך עיון. Now, I don't really understand. I understand where the question is, what the question is. I don't understand his follow-up question, okay? Because we haven't really learnt. We haven't learnt about what Atik gets with Bechina Daled, with a big the Masach of Bechina Daled. We haven't learnt that. Okay, so I don't understand the rest of his question. Okay. Perush. Yesh kan shtei she'ilot. There are two questions here. Number one, איך יוצאת בעתיק ובארך חמפין וכולי קומה יניקה? How does an Atik and Arich Ampin, etc., bring forth komat of Yenika? Okay, up till now we talked about Ibor. Ibor is in the Rosh, okay? Now he's talking about the birth, so we're going to have Partsufim. That's why he's begun to talk about the names of Partsufim. The names of Partsufim. Keter is Atik. Arich Ampin is Chochma, okay? How do they get the Koma of Yenika? Halo b'katnut einem el oviut d'shorish. In katnut they've only got oviut d'shorish. Ubegadlut yesh latik bechina daled, or achampin bechina gimel. In gadlut, atik has got bechina daled, or achampin has got bechina gimel. Bet. Ech zerampin makabel neshama chayin yechida. How does zerampin get these highlights of neshama chayin yechida? Bechina toi, bechina aleph doviut bilvad. So he's got a lot of questions. I don't understand the second lot of questions. 576. Let's have a look and see what he says. And again, it's okay to say we don't understand. Hatshuvot l'shtei sheilot. The answers to these two questions. Aleph. Mekevan she'atik malbish al gimel shanot nikudim dekatnut. Since Atik clothes the gimel shanim of gimel shanot of nikudim of katnut. Okay, what was left? Behem nisharuot im kelim. In the Rosh of Nikudim, okay, they were left lights with the vessels. Al ken mekabel mehem bechina aleph of oviut. So from the tikkun that it does, Atik takes the gimel shanot of Nikudim, it receives Bechina Aleph Voviyut. Umimenu overet l'shar partzufei Atzilut. And from Atik, which is Keter of the world of Atzilut, Keter is like the giver. It's the Rosh of the Madriga. It gives. Okay, according to Keter, everything gets. Okay, so it's going to pass on that Bechina Aleph to all the other parts of him of Atzilut. Okay, bet I don't understand. Zerampin, but that's because we haven't learnt it yet. So we can just simply say Zerampin Makabel Neshama Chai Nichidada Bechina Aleph became Kol Patzuf Makabel Orot Lefi Bechina Tov Besisit. So in Zera, I don't know what he means here. Okay, so we'll leave that bit. But the fact that the Yinikar comes from the world of Nikudim, that's important fact that we have actually learnt. Okay? And we get an extra bit that we don't understand, never mind. Good. Fantastic. Next time, I think we should start with the Or Shalom or read the Reshit Chochmah again? What should we suggest? Reshit Chochmah again, yeah? Oh, I don't know. I shall write it on the thing in the WhatsApp. Let's start off with the Reshit Chochmah again, and then we'll go to the Or Shalom. That's what I did yesterday on Shabbos, and it was actually very helpful. Great. Okay, how do you guys feel about that?
Review's always good for me.
Sounds okay?
Yes.
Okay,
You hear me?
Yeah, I think it's getting better.
I think so. I think it's gradually getting better. I'm much better. I mean, I have to tell you, this is the best I've ever been so far with this material.
Hmm.
So I've written it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, where to start again next time, Bezrat Hashem. Yishakar, wonderful, well done.
Thank you, Yadida.
Bless you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See you
Thank you
next
so
week. Have a good
much.
week, everybody.
Thank you. Very
You as
good.
well,
All
Tiff.
right.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Okay, all right, take care. Oh, Adam, do you want to see what we can do this week?
Yeah, if Tuesday, Thursday works for you, it'd be good for me.
Tuesday or Thursday's perfect for me this week.
Okay.
Bezrat Hashem.
So, barring extenuating circumstances, I will do that. Oh, generally,
Absolutely.
everybody's been doing great, sleeping pretty well, and everything. So,
Amazing,
yeah, oh, for
amazing.
sure.
Okay,
So,
very good. Are you going to be okay? So Batavis is a fast day. Okay, yeah. Do you want
yeah, for me, it's good because it's early,
it's
so
early in the morning, right?
I can actually wake up, have some coffee before the fast even starts, and be
Right, right,
fine.
right.
Oh, is it going
Right.
to be okay for you? Because it's a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah, yeah,
later in the
it's
day for
fine.
you.
It's early
Okay,
enough. Yeah, yeah, fine, no
all right,
problem.
okay, sounds
Okay, great.
good. All right,
Okay,
thank you
great. I'm
so
going to pop
much.
that in. You're
All right,
welcome. All
yeah,
right, bye.
bye bye.